Today, we're diving into a true story about a British military officer who really stood by his word and showed incredible integrity. The officer who returned to captivity, a true story of honor. Let me take you back to the year 1914. The world was at war. Trenches carved the earth like scars, and young men marched into the unknown. Among them was a British officer named Captain Robert Campbell, just 29 years old, leading the 1st Battalion of the East Surrey Regiment. In the early days of World War I, during the Battle of Mons in Belgium, Campbell was wounded and captured by German forces. He was sent to a prisoner of war camp in Magdeburg in Germany, a place of barbed wire, watchtowers, and long, hopeless days. But this isn't just a story of war. It's a story of a letter, a plea, and a promise. Months into his captivity, Campbell received devastating news. His mother, back home in England, was dying of cancer. There was no official way to request leave. No Red Cross channel, no diplomatic backdoor. So he did something extraordinary. He wrote a personal letter to Kaiser Wilhelm II, the German emperor himself. In that letter, Campbell begged for permission to visit his mother one last time. And he made a solemn vow. I give you my word, as a British officer I will return. Now pause for a moment. Imagine being the Kaiser. You're at war with Britain. You hold one of their officers in your prison. And he's asking to walk free, based only on his word. To everyone's astonishment, Wilhelm agreed. Campbell was granted 2 weeks of leave, no guards, no escorts, just trust. He traveled across enemy lines, back to England, and spent precious days with his mother before she passed away. Now here's the moment that defines the man. He could have stayed. He could have disappeared into the English countryside, resumed his military service, or simply vanished. But he didn't. Captain Robert Campbell returned to Germany. He walked back into captivity, back behind the wire, back into the cold, gray walls of Magdeburg prison. And he stayed there until the war ended in 1918. He did attempt one escape later, digging a tunnel with fellow prisoners, but was recaptured. Still, his honor remained intact. He had kept his word. This wasn't just a gentleman's gesture, it was a code, a tradition among officers that stretched back centuries. In an age before surveillance and suspicion, honor was courtesy, and Campbell spent it well. After the war, he continued his military service and lived a quiet life until his death in 1966. His story was nearly forgotten, buried in archives and footnotes until historians uncovered it decades later. Today, in a world where promises are often broken and trust is rare, the story of Captain Campbell reminds us that honor still matters. He didn't win a battle, he didn't lead a charge. But he did something far more difficult. He kept his word when no one was watching. So the next time you hear someone say, "It's just a promise," tell them about the British officer who walked back into prison because he said he would.